why you drift instead of quit. Because quiet avoidance is safer than failure. So let's get uncomfortable immediately. You didn't quit, you didn't fail, and you didn't blow up your life spectacularly. You did something worse. You drifted, and drifting is the most dangerous place that a capable, smart man like yourself can live. Because drifting lets you stay comfortable enough to survive, but dissatisfied enough to just hate yourself and your life quietly. You don't have a crisis, you've got a slow breakdown. And that's why nobody around you is alarmed or even checking in on you. So here's the truth that most men never say out loud because it doesn't feel nice to say. Drifting is not an accident, it's a strategy. It's a way to avoid the pain of failure without earning the pride of discipline. Because quitting would force honesty, committing fully would force accountability, and drifting just lets you hide. Look back at your life right now. Nothing is quote unquote wrong, but nothing feels quite right either. Does that relate? Because you're functional, you're capable, you're smart, and you show up just enough. And that's exactly why this has gone on for so long and will keep going on if you don't change anything, because there's no explosion to wake you up, no rock bottom, no intervention, just a slow, quiet leak of self-respect. And that hurts more than failure ever could. Because there's a beauty in actually trying and failing, but knowing you did your best. So you still talk like a man with standards. You know what you should be doing. You know who you could be. And you even give good advice to other people. But your actions don't match your awareness anymore. And that gap is where pain lives. And it chips away at you bit by bit, like it did to me in my life. It's not anxiety, it's not stress, but shame. And that quiet kind of shame builds up every time you say that I'll start properly tomorrow. So let's name the thing that you've been avoiding. You don't drift because you're lazy. You drift because you're intelligent. Because smart men are very good at creating excuses that sound good, because you can rationalize anything. You know just enough psychology to be able to justify and explain your moods. Just enough productivity theory to keep on tweaking your systems. Just enough self-awareness to sound honest while staying stuck. Because average men quit loudly and in explosions. But quite capable men drift slowly, because drifting feels safe. Because failure has a clear label, but quitting has consequences. Committing fully causes exposure. But drifting lets you say, I'm still figuring things out. It's going to happen soon. It keeps hope alive without requiring action. And hope without action becomes poison. So let me describe a moment that you know too well. It's a Tuesday night. You've done nothing particularly wrong today. You also didn't do anything that moved your life forward or got you excited about life. You were meant to train. You were meant to do the work. You were meant to make 20 sales calls. You were meant to have that awkward conversation you've been putting off. But the days slip by, so you scroll, you snack, you Netflix. You tell yourself that tomorrow will be better. And nothing explodes or breaks down. And that's the trap. Because drifting never punishes you immediately. It just slowly trains you not to trust yourself anymore. So here's something that most men don't understand until it's too late. Confidence doesn't disappear randomly. It collapses through broken promises. Every time you say that you'll do something and you don't, your nervous system takes a note on it. It says that I can't rely on this man anymore because his word means fuck all. Enough of these notes. And then motivation dies because you're not broken. You just taught yourself not to listen to yourself or follow through and keep promises. And this is why drifting is way worse than completely quitting ever is. Because quitting at least is honest. Drifting is dishonest. Because quitting says, I choose not to do this anymore. Fuck it. But drifting says, I'm still the kind of guy that could, whilst proving that you are nothing like him. And that split will rot you from the inside out and eventually make you hate yourself if you don't already. So let's be blunt. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you don't trust yourself enough to follow through. And self-trust is not built with insight. It's built with evidence. Tiny, boring, repeatable evidence. Which is why drifting destroys men who are capable and smart like yourself. You expect yourself to act like a man that you are not currently being. And that internal mismatch creates tension. And instead of resolving it with action that moves you forward, you just soothe it with distraction and numbing and drugs and alcohol and whatever else. This is where self-sabotage actually lives. Not in dramatic blow-ups, but in avoidance. You don't burn your life down. You just keep it lukewarm, just enough discipline to function, just enough chaos to stay stuck. And that way, you never have to face yourself fully and truly lock in and take yourself serious. So let me say this clearly and slowly. Drifting is a way to avoid judgment from others, but also, more importantly, from yourself. Because if you never fully commit, you never fully fail. But you can also never fully win either. And deep down, you know that. That's why this video feels so uncomfortable, but you got this far into the video, so it must be hitting a chord for you. So now here's the part that most men resist. Drifting stops the moment that you remove the choices. Not motivation, not clarity, not a breakthrough, your choices. Every day you wake up and negotiate with yourself, then you reinforce the drifting habit. What do I feel like doing today? What's my mood like today? Do I have the energy? Is now the right time? Those questions are killing you. Bit by bit, day by day, week by week, year by year. Men who regain momentum do one thing differently. They stop asking how they feel and they start obeying rules that they've set for themselves in advance. Simple rules, non-negotiables, things that happen regardless of mood. That's not discipline. That's protection from your own inconsistency. And this is why systems work when motivation doesn't. Because a system removes the daily identity bait. You don't ask, am I the kind of man who trains today? You train because it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday. You don't ask yourself, should I do the work? You know you should be doing the work. You get it done because it's scheduled and it's a daily non-negotiable. Self-trust is rebuilt when your actions become predictable. To you, to your inner mind, to every part of your being. So here's the part where I'm going to slow down. If this video feels uncomfortably accurate, comment the word blueprint or click the link in the bio and get your free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint. It's a system that I use with successful men who are struggling with self-sabotage and they ruin their momentum, and it gets their momentum going again through daily systems. Nothing fancy, nothing inspirational, it's just something that works on good days, bad days and flat as a pancake days. So click the link in the bio. But back to you. You don't need a reinvention. You need to stop leaking the momentum you've worked so hard to build. And momentum is not built by intensity, it's built by continuity, moving forward consistently. But drifting kills that. So here's another hard truth. You don't drift because life's even hard. You drift because life is comfortable. No immediate threat, no urgent consequences, enough money to pay your bills, just enough ease to justify procrastination, which is why pain often produces change faster than comfort. But you don't need trauma to change. You need standards. Standards remove the drift completely, and a man with standards doesn't ask, should I? He asks himself, what's required of me? And that shift is absolutely everything. So let me call something out directly. You're not tired, you're just uncommitted. You're not anxious or overwhelmed, you just haven't decided that you're going to lock in any means necessary yet. And you're definitely not burnt out, you're just living without structure or anything that excites you and puts you on fire. Those three states feel similar, but only one has a solution. Because drifting is what happens when a man delays the decision to become the person he knows he could and should be. You are waiting to feel ready. You are waiting to feel certain. You are waiting to feel confidence, but confidence comes after action, not before. And drifting delays action completely. So here's the paradox. The longer you drift, the harder getting started feels. And the harder starting feels, the more you drift. That loop will not break itself on its own. It breaks when you act before you feel like it. And then all of a sudden you've got results that make you want to do more and you've got momentum. One small, boring action repeated. And once you've got momentum going, it's just a case of keeping it going. So I don't care if you start perfectly. I care if you start and then keep going consistently. Because consistency rebuilds identity and identity stops you from drifting. So let's make this painfully simple. Pick one thing, one daily action, make it non-negotiable. Do it whether the day is good or bad or amazing or shit or flat as a pancake. That's it. No complete overhaul of your personality. No grand takeover of the world plans. Just daily evidence. Because if you're honest, the reason you've avoided this is simple. Once you actually set a simple non-negotiable, you lose your favourite excuse. And that scares you. Because drifting keeps your self-image intact. But discipline forces you to make a verdict on it and make it happen. So here's the second time I'll say this, because repetition matters and it will stay in your brain. If this feels uncomfortably accurate, comment or DM the word blueprint and I'll send you the exact framework that I use myself and with my private clients who were stuck in this exact loop. Or click the link in the bio. It's there for you to download for free in the description of this video. It's a system that works. It's not fancy, but it's proven to get results. So let's close this video properly. You're not broken, you're not behind, and you're definitely not incapable. You're just avoiding the one thing that would force clarity, and that's commitment. Not to an outcome, but to a process. Because drifting is a decision, but so is stopping drifting. So the question is whether you could be more, do more, have more, enjoy more. The question is whether you are willing to stop protecting your ego and start building and protecting your future. Because quiet avoidance feels much safer than failure, but it also costs you your self-respect. And deep down, you know that you're done paying that price. So it's your move. I'll see you in the next video. But don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to get the free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint. The link's in the description to the video. Or if you comment the word blueprint, I'll send it through to you. Or drop me a message on social media. I'll reply to every single one with your situation, what you're going through, and we'll get you moving in the right direction. And all of a sudden, you'll have momentum again. Easy as that. Let's fucking go.